Hello guys, let's start today's bi-weekly contest questions. Okay, so the first question, what they are saying, I have already done that. So I just explain. Okay, what they are saying, ki you are given an integer array nouns. Return the integer denoting the first even integer that appears exactly once in the nums. If no such integer exists, then return -1. Okay, so even they are defining what is the even. Even means it's divisible by 2, right? So here, what I have to do, I just take a map here, map, and I take it linked hash map. Why hash map? In linked hash map, if you see in linked hash map, linked the ordering of the element, right? Element ordering will be be written. Okay, so that's why I am taking the linked hash map here, and if I am checking if the current number is even or not. If it is even, I'm putting that number in the map with its count, how many occurrences is there. So then I iterate over that map and check key this entry ka count is equal to 1 or not. If it is 1, we are immediately returning the key. Key stored the actual number, right? So we are immediately returning the key. Otherwise, there is no possible answer. So we are returning -1. So it's I have submitted that one during the contest. So it's fine. It's accepted. Okay. Now, coming to the second question is pretty straightforward. So we just need to check. We just need to make that prefix GCD. Prefix GCD means we are given. Let's say, okay. So in second question, now they are saying ki okay. So in second question, they are given a what you say, a list nums array, right? 0 1 2 3 4 5, right? Let's say this one x1 x2 x3 x4 x5 x6. Okay, so they are saying key first of all what you have to do, uh, you have to form the prefix GCD array. So what is the prefix GCD? So basically there are mm, uh, let's say ith element means third element or anything you can take. I am choosing the third element. So I need to find the maximum of ith element is maximum of all the element up to I, x1 x2 dot 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 up to xi. I need to find this one. So let's say among x1 x2 x3 x4 up to xi, like for this one is up to x4. Let's say the maximum element is x3. Okay, x3. Now prefix GCD of I will be the GCD of nums of I and max of I. Okay, so in this case it will be like GCD of x4 and x3, right? Because my max is x3 and my current element. So we need to form this GCD, and they are saying ki we need to sort prefix GCD, and we need, let's say there are, after sorting the values, let's say like a1 a2. A3, A4, A5. Now we need to find the GCD of this one and add to the result. GCD of this one, add to the result. If it is odd number of elements, then we need to ignore that element, middle element. We need to ignore, but we need to find the GCD of the other elements like A2 and A4, A1 and A5 after sorting, and we need to add them in the count. Okay, so that is also pretty simple. We just need to know what will be the time complexity. GCD can be calculated in log n fashion, and sorting will take n log n. So maximum it will be O of n log n, and it can be done in O of n log n because they are in the constant they are giving 10 raised to 5. 10 raised to 5, it can, if it is n log n, then it will take like 20 into 10 raised to 5. Okay, so it's possible basically 2 into 2 10 raised to 6. It is straightforward. Just you need to know how to find the GCD. That's all. I am taking the nums and I am forming the prefix GCD one. So earlier I am taking maximum as 0. When I am moving element wise, I am trying to take the maximum as the maximum among the element and the current maximum among them, whichever is the maximum. It will try. I am trying to put that in the mx variable. Okay, after that I am calculating the prefix GCD of num1 and num I and the maximum correct method. Then I am sorting this one, and that's all. I'm calculating the uh, I am calculating the prefix GCD of I and prefix GCD of n minus I minus 1, and taking the GCD of them and adding them to the answer. And I am taking the half, and it is odd. If the length is odd, right? Length is odd, then this n by 2 automatically I'm taking less than, right? This n by 2, this condition automatically ignore the mid element if it is odd, for odd element. Okay, odd numbers of element. So it's pretty simple here, and we are returning the answer, so that is also fine. Now coming to this one is a little bit trickier, but yeah, we can do this also. So here what they are saying, they are given two array. One is nums of one array, and another one is nums of two array. Okay, there are some elements like x1, x2, x3, x4, x5. Here are some element y1, y2, y3, y4, y y5, right? Y5. So they are saying key I can do two types of operation. So either I can swap any elements from the nums1 to any other elements from the nums1 itself. So I can swap xi with xj. So x represent the elements in nums1. Okay, xi and xj represent elements in nums1 array. Or I can sorry, or I can swap any element in y with any element in nums2 with any element of nums2, any other elements of nums2, right? So here also, that means I and yj represent elements in nums2. for those operation, right? For those operation, swapping within same array, same uh, array, same array. Okay, so same array means uh, I'm choosing any elements in X nums one and any other elements of nums one, and I'm just swapping. So it will cost zero. There is no cost required. No cost required for both of them. I'm choosing y1 and let's say y5. I will swap them. So it costs zero cost. Correct. For this one also, I am taking x1 and x4. I am swapping any element you can choose. This cost zero cost, no cost required. But here, if some elements of nums1 like x1, x2, x3, x4, x5, okay, then nums2, y1, y2, y3, y4, y5. Correct. But if I want to choose any element from nums1 and any other element from nums2, let's say I'm choosing x1 from num1 and x2 from y4 from num2, and I want to swap them. I want to swap them, let's say x1 and y4. I want to swap them, then it will cost 1. It will cost me 1. Okay. So let's say xi and yj swapping cost me 1. Okay. Now they are asking me, what is their ask? Find the minimum number of operation, or not operation actually. This is not the correct term. It should be okay. So minimum cost required to make both the array equal, right? Right. So here we have nums1 like x1, x2, x3, x4, x5, and nums2 like y1, y2, y3, y4, y5, right? So here, if it is not possible, right? If you can't make them equal, both the array, then uh, you need to return the minus one. Okay. So the point is here, as per the question, in same array, swapping operation takes no cost, zero cost. Correct. In same array, swapping operation can be zero cost. Okay. So let's say for sorting that, sorting nums1, how much cost is required? Zero, obviously, because within same array it's cost zero. So if you take the sorted order, that cost zero to you, because it will not okay, it will not inter array swapping. Okay, the swapping is within the array. Okay, so it will cost zero. So sorting will be cost zero in both of them. Yeah, so point one is sorting will cost 0 in both the array. Okay, okay. Sorting will cost the 0 in both the array. Now, 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 when it is not possible, when when it is not possible. Okay. So let's say some elements are there. Nums one, some elements are there. X1, X2, Y1, Y2, Y3. Okay. And nums two, some elements are there. Let's say okay. When it is not possible, right? Let's say in nums 2 there is x1, y1, y2, y3. Now tell me one thing. Okay, can you make them equal even after sorting, even after doing multiple operation as per the question? Can you make them equal? Answer will be not, because this one, there is there is two element already exist, whose net count in both array is odd. So x2, the count of x2 is 1. Then there are count of x1 is total count of x1 is 3, right? So total two elements present whose net count is odd. So if the net count is odd, you cannot able to distribute that x element equally. You cannot distribute them equally in both array if the frequency of any element is odd. Okay, in both the array. Uh, so in that case the result will be, we need to return -1 in that case. Now now questions come. Uh, it's it's uh, uh, we have explored the negative side. I mean, not the negative, you can say the not possible side, right? Not possible side. Now what about what about if it is possible? Okay, what about how to check that if it is possible or not? So for that one, what we have to do, we have to maintain a count. So I have nums one, right? X1, let's say x2, so let's say x1, and nums 2, I have y1. So first condition is key, we have to check the total count. So in nums1 and nums2, so x1 is 2 count, y1 is 2 count. So that is possible, right? If we swap one of them, it will be possible, right? Now for finding the minimum count, what we have to do, we just check the difference of elements in difference of count of elements counts of elements in nums1 and nums2. Let's say in this example itself, okay, in this example itself, we have nums of x1 x this nums1 nums2 y1 y1, right? So if you check, if you try to count in the first array, so I'll tell it cache first. So we are calculating the frequency in the frequency of the first array's elements count. Okay, so in cache first, x1 having two values, cache second, sorry, cache, 1 minute. Okay, in cache second, y1 having two values. So so one thing you should remember, we just need to check the difference of those first two elements. So for example, let's say x1 is coming. So in cache 1, x1 ka value is 2, and in cache 2, x1 ka value is 0, right? So the first object x1, like I am iterating over all the objects, I will iterate x1 x y1 both. Okay, for first object in cache 1 it will be 2, then obviously if it is 2 in cache 2 it's 0, right? It's 0. So what is the difference right now? If you see, what is the difference between the element occurrence? It's obviously 2. 2 minus 0, right? 2 minus 0. But we just need to do one operation here, right? So divided by 2. So c1 x1 minus c2 x1, if that is greater than 0, that is greater than 0, if that is greater than 0, then only I am taking the count. Okay, why I'm taking, if it is greater than 0 only, if you see, then I am taking c1 x1 minus c2 x2 x1 divided by 2 in plus is equal to. Okay, why this like this? Because while now again, while we iterate, we'll encounter c1. So while I am iterating, right, c1 x1, I'll also iterate for c1 y1, right? C1 y1 and c2 y1. So first time I encounter c1 x1 minus c2 x1 divided by 2, because it will be greater than 0 obviously. But when I counter this one c1 y1 c2 y1, then it will be negative because c1 cache 1 will not having y1 element, so it will be 0 minus 2, that will be negative. But why I am taking this one only, why I am not taking the negative? Because if you see x1 and y x1 I have in the nums1 and y1 I have in nums2, right? So if I see x1, so if I swap this one only, automatically this one will be sorted. If I only swap this one, okay, so let's say y1 and it's x1 and x1 and y1. After swapping it will be like y1 x1, and so you can always swap in uh, self in self, so it will not cost anything, so you can also make it x1 and y1, so automatically it is sorted, right? Correct. So we need not count for this one negative values automatically handle. Okay, so we need to check only in cache 1 x1 is there, x1 minus in cache in cache 2 x1, it is greater than 0, or in c1 y1 minus c2 y1, if it is greater than 0, then those values we have to take. Okay, so we need to take only positive values, positive value difference. Then negative one will be automatically sorted, right? Okay, so here also I am doing like this only. I have taken three cache. Cache first will store all the counts of what you say, all the elements in nums1 and nums2, all together counts for the validation part, like is it possible or not possible. Okay, cache first will store the value of the element occurrence of values in nums1 only, and cache second will store the element occurrence of elements in nums2 only. No, it will not include the nums1 elements. Okay, so here I iterate over the array and I put the counts over there. For cache I am taking for both the arrays. Cache first I am taking only nums1, and cache second I am taking only nums2 elements. Now I put initialize count as 0 and iterating over the cache. Cache will contain both the element. Cache will contains the elements of both the array nums1 and nums2. So I am iterating over the cache, and if I find any value is odd, total count of any value is odd, then this is not possible. We cannot able to distribute over the two different array. So I am returning -1, and then I am taking the key and I am checking whether the key is present in the first cache or not. Then I am checking whether the key is present in second cache or not, and I am counting. I am finding the difference after that. So, so, and also one more thing, the difference is always one more thing here. The difference is always even. हर बार difference even होगा. Why? Because we are checking for total count of element is even. right? Is even. So let's say there are some count. Let's say total a number of counts in nums1 for element x1 and b number of counts in nums2 for element x same element x1. Okay, so x a plus b is even. Let's say a is odd, then b should be also odd, right? For being even, correct? And if a is even, then b should be also even. Now any difference odd minus odd is always even, because uh, you cannot create an odd by adding a odd number with odd number. It should be even. You cannot create. So odd minus odd will be always even, and also even minus even is always even. Possibilities key one number is odd, one number is even. Okay. So if A is odd and B is even, then odd plus even will be odd, right? And it will not satisfy the condition, it will return -1, because total will be odd and we cannot distribute the odd number among the two array equally, so it will be -1. So in this case it will be always even number. This difference is always, so I am dividing it by 2 and I am taking only the positive counts. And if I take only the positive count, the negative part will be already, like already will be, it will be sorted. So I am taking the count and I think I don't need this also absolute. Even I remove that absolute, it will over. So because always it is positive, so I'm taking the count and taking the difference and adding this to the count and returning the count as my result. So if you see, this is also the accepted one, I have taken this one. So for today's, that's all. We'll meet in the next video. Thank you.